Hello everyone, welcome back. How are you? Hi dear, welcome. Hi Isa, how are you? Hello Juliet, welcome. Hey dear Kitty, how are you all? Hi dear Juliet, how are you? Hello dear Isa. Here is yours. I am good too. Thank you so much for joining. Hello. Hi, Kevin. Welcome back. Hi, Natalia. How are you? Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Elzabetka. Oh, E.T. Here is yours. Welcome. Hey, Kevin. How are you doing today? Hi, Ava. How are you? Hello, dear Kevin. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ava. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining. Let's see who is next. Ava, and what was the second name? Anasha. Anasha. Here is yours. And Ruhab. Hello, dear Ruhab. How are you? Welcome back, Isa. How are you doing after so many days? Hi, dear Sanjar. Here is yours. I am good. How about you guys? What's going on? Let's see who is next. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. You're most welcome. Uh-huh. SL. Hello, dear SL. Here is yours. Hi, dear Jake. It is a good name. Thank you. So good to have you here, dear. Hey, dear Umar. Here is yours. Hi, dear Mariam. Here is your beautiful name. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, dear Luzanda. Here is yours. What a unique name you have. Hi, dear Myra. Here is yours. Hi, dear Lean. Here is a good name. Yay, thanks. This is for you. Thank you. Hey, dear Elka. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Nayan. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Zachko. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Mello. Here is yours. Hi, dear Manha. Here is your good name. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Dylan. Welcome back. How are you? Hi, dear Hushi. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Aniko. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, dear Shreya. I am good. How about you, dear Shreya? Thank you so much for joining again. Hi, dear Dina. Here is yours. Hi, dear Faz. Here is a good name. Hello, dear. My name is Jayu. And you? My name is Ishal. Nice meeting you. Hello, dear Ishwarya. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Violet. Here is your beautiful name. Dylan. Okay, dear Dylan. For you. Hi, dear Tisari. How are you? Here is your good name. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, hi. Hey, dear Annie. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Kenneth. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ojas. Here is a good name. You're most welcome, dear. Don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Hi, dear Sophia. How are you? Hello, dear Ariana. Here is your good name, Ariana. Hi, dear Alishba. Here is yours. Hi, dear Pratham. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Ranjit. Here is your beautiful name, Ranjit. Here is yours. Hey, dear angel. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Zia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Jason. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Harshita. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Hareen. Here is a good name. Thank you so much, Abdul Wahid. Thank you for the compliment. Here is yours. Here is a good name, dear. Thank you so much. Hello, dear Adit. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Busra. How are you? Here is yours. Hello, dear Eliza. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Hanzala. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi. Welcome. What's a good name? Hi, dear Ashir. Here is yours. Hello, dear Aurora. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Yumna. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Aman. Here is a beautiful name. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to subscribe. Hello, dear Sidra. Here is yours. Hi, dear Vatsalia. Vatsalia. Here is yours. Hi, dear Maya. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Evelyn. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, Priyam. Hello, dear Priyam. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Sai. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Aradhya. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Shadya. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome back, dear. Thank you so much for joining again. Hi, dear Huran. Here is your beautiful name. Have a good day. Hey, dear Erna. Here is yours. Do me, please. What's a good name? You have to tell, dear. Hey, dear Aswate. Here is a good name. Oh, you're most welcome. Lots of love. Hi, dear Subhan. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Rodri. Here is yours. Hello, dear Alessa. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Zainab. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Sanjay. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Zen. Here is yours. Hello, my name is Emma. Hi, dear Emma. How are you? Hello, dear Vajiha. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Mincio for you, dear. Here is yours. Hi, dear Rana. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Easter. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Behruz. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Hannah or Hamna? Hey, dear Aya, here is yours. Dear, what's your name? Hannah. Hi, dear Hannah, here is a good name. One of my favorite names. Hey, dear Arshdeep, here is yours. What a unique name you have. Hi, dear Carabo, here is a good name. Hello, dear Priscilla, how are you? Thank you so much for joining. I think I missed the S, right? Oh, let me rewrite for you. Priscilla. Now it's perfect, I think. Hello, hi. Hi, dear Zephyr. Here is yours. Let's see, what's a good name, dear? Wajiha? No, Wafia. What a beautiful name you have, dear Wafia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Duma. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Fahim. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Yanni. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Ganesh. Ganesh, here is yours. Hello, dear Abrar. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Hadi. Here is your. Let's see who's gonna be the third. It's like a guys. Hey, dear Noel. Here is a good name. You're most welcome, dear Priscilla. Lots of love. Hi, dear Freya. Here is yours. Hello, dear Naz. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Hushal. Here is a beautiful name. Hello, dear Ishal. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Sana. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Emma. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Oh, you're most welcome, dear. Thank you so much. Hi, dear Arya. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Ekta. Here is yours. Hi, dear Cream. Here is yours. Hi, dear Anaya or Ananya. Hello, dear Ananya. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Adina. Here is yours. Hi, dear Haseen. Here is a good name. How are you? Let's see who is next, guys. Stay hydrated because it's too hot. Manahil. Hi, Manahil. How are you guys? If your names got done here, so don't forget to double tapping, and also there is a subscribe button there, right there, waiting for your finger press. Hey, dear Aman, here is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear Maria. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Ali. Here is yours. Hi, dear Emma. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Courtney. Here is yours. Thank you so much, dear Courtney. Lots of love. Hi, dear Megha. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Varsha. Here is yours. Thank you so much, dear. Hi, dear Siva. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Nida. Here is yours. Hello, dear Sama. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Haika. Here is yours. Don't forget to press the subscribe button. Hi, dear Rahul. Here is yours. Hello, dear Livia. Here is your good name. Okay, fine, but don't write your names in paragraphs, guys. It's called spamming, and I can't be able to see the next name because of your paragraph. So please avoid the paragraphs and just comment once. Hey, dear Ada. Here is your good name. We are newly married, and I see his name here, Pardu. So cute, dear. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining, dear. Wish you have a wonderful life with him. Life with him. Hi, dear Vishal. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Junaid. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Juna. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Pavni. Here is yours. VANI. Hi, dear Qasim. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Sahana. Here is yours. Hello, dear Kartavya. What a good name you have, dear Kartavya. Here is yours. Hello, dear Swara. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Jatin. Here is yours. Hello, dear Here. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Asfiya. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Jigyasha. Jigyasha. Here is yours. Hi, dear Lena. Here is your good name. Hi, dear. Is your name Yeye? Yeye is your name? Hello, dear Trisha. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining, and don't forget to press that like and subscribe button. Don't write your names in paragraphs. Don't write your names in paragraphs. Alice. Hi, dear Alice. Here is yours. Hi, dear Elrod. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Darlene. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Fatima. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Kashish. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hey, dear Agnetel and A. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Dinu. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Hasib. Here is yours. Hello, dear Pranjal. Here is your good name. How are you? Lots of love, dear. Thank you so much. Hi, dear Aryan. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Andrea. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Guys, don't write your names in paragraphs and don't use too much emojis. Otherwise, I'm gonna time out you. Dear Jihoon, please don't spam, man. Why are you spamming? Just comment your name. Don't need to spam. Hey, dear Aman, here is yours. Okay, this was the last warning, I guess. Have some rest. Hey, dear Alman, here is a good name. Hey, dear Ada, here is yours. Hello, dear Sifa, here is a beautiful name. Amina, please don't spam, dear. Hi, dear Mahi, here is yours. Hi, dear ALANOUD, welcome back. Here is yours. Hi, dear Sibella. Here is yours. Hi, dear Edvika. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Alia. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Maya. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Rajab. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Sivanya. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Anya, here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Taylor. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Shivani. Here is yours. Hey, dear Sanchi. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Hosanna. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear. Let me adjust the sound. Where is the sound going actually? Sarah. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Yasin. Here is a good name. Hi, dear B1. B1. Bivhan. Here is yours. Hey, dear Yaman. Here is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear Ria. Here is yours. Hello, dear Mariana. From Mexico. ¿Cómo estás? Gracias. Hi, dear Nakul. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Flo. Here is yours. Hey, dear Anna. Welcome back. Julia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Anu. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Amir. Amir, here is yours. Hello, dear Sarp. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Elma. Here is yours. Hey, dear Ella. How are you? Here is yours. Hi, dear Iman. Here is a good name. Hey, dear Aryan. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Abhishek. Abhishek. Here is yours. Hi, dear Levi. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Alan. Here is yours. Hi, dear Aparna. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Hanin. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Shubhratan. Shub. No. What was your name? Shub. Shubhratan, I think. I don't know how to pronounce your name, dear, but it is yours. Hey, dear Jassia, here is a good name. Hello, dear Susmita, here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Zia, here is a good name. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, dear Aksha. Aksha. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, dear Anas, here is a good name. Hey, dear Samir, here is yours. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Don't forget to press the subscribe button. Is your name Kadja? Hey, dear Kadja, here is yours. Hi, dear Hitesh, here is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear Sammy, here is yours. Don't forget to press the like and subscribe button. Hi, dear Ainu, here is a good name. Hi, dear Zahara, here is yours. Hello, dear Latika, here is a good name. Hey, dear Amanda, here is yours. Let's see who is next. Let me drink some water cause it's too hot, guys. Abby, hi. Just give me 1 minute and till then double tap on your screens. Thank you so much for your precious time, guys. Thank you for your patience. Hi, dear Rami. Here is yours. Hey, dear Andy. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Umar. Here is yours. Hey, dear Alan. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Zahara. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hey, dear Jakara. Hello, dear Jakara. Here is yours. Hi, dear Leo. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Manthan. Here is yours. Hello, dear Grace. How are you? Welcome back, dear Grace. Hi, dear Vaishu. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ilya. Ilya or Leah? Ilya. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Rafi. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Moise. Here is yours. Hello, dear Hassan. HAASAAN. Here is yours. Hi, dear Dia. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Yusuf. Here is yours. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. Let's see who is next. Let's see who's gonna be the next 7 liker, guys. Ismail. Hello, dear Ismail. Here is yours. Hi, dear Tom. Here is yours. Hey, dear Tina. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Ravi. Here is yours. Hi, dear Sophie Raj. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Abby. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Manahil. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Hina. Here is yours. Thank you so much for liking. Hi, dear Julia. Here is a beautiful name. Hey, dear Safia. Here is yours. Oh, you're most welcome. Hi, dear Ishan. Here is yours. Hey, dear Suhana. Here is your good name. Hi, dear. Hello, welcome. How are you? Dear Adya, here is yours. Hello, dear Yasmin. Here is your beautiful name. Don't forget to like and press the subscribe button there, guys. Double tap on your screens. Nimra. Hi, dear Nimra. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Rajan. Here is yours. Hi, dear Zubair. Here is a good name. Let me read the comment. What is he saying? Yuck. Oh my god. Hey, dear Asmi. Here is a good name. Hey, dear Umaida. Here is yours. Hey, dear Anna. Here is your good name. Bye, dear. Hey, dear Krisha. Here is yours. Hello, dear Julian. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Ishu. Here is yours. Hey, dear Ian, for you, dear. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hi, dear Sammy. Here is yours. Hey, dear Faru. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Thomas. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Duana, here is your good name. Hello, dear Subhan. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hey, dear Yahart. No, Yathart. Oh my god, what's your name, dear? Yathart. What a unique name you have. Here is yours. Hey, dear Daha. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Navya. Here is yours. Oh my god. Just give me 1 minute. Let's see who is next. Inaya. Hey, dear Inaya. How are you? Here is yours. Inaya. You're most welcome. Don't forget to double tap and press the subscribe button. Umar. Hi, dear Umar. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ryan. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Dave. Here is yours. Hi, dear Mohit. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Zia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Hannah. Here is a good name. How are you? Hey, dear Kenzie. Here is yours. Tanya, welcome back. Hi, dear Tanya. And Vinay, for you. Here is yours. And let's see who is next. Thank you for joining, guys. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. Hi, dear Shahazin. Here is a good name. You're most welcome. Hey, dear Jara. Here is yours. Hey, dear Felix. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Alishba. Here is yours. Hi, dear Nishita. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Akhil. Here is yours. We are stuck on 6-3. Can we make it 7-3 at least? Guys, double tapping on your screens. Double tapping. Hi, dear Sarya. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Deep. Here is yours. Hello, dear Murtaza. Here, Murtaza. Murtaza. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Sidra. Here is a good name. I am good, dear. How about you? Thank you so much for asking. What's a good name? Hi, dear Malak. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Nagun. Here is yours. What a unique name you have. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Sarika. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Jiki. Here is yours. Hello, dear Thomas. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Duana. Here is yours. Hello, dear Sardine. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Akash. Here is a good name. Who is there? Let me check. Okay. Hi, dear Alison. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, Hi, dear Cobra. Here is yours. Hi, dear Irza. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Arabi. Here is yours. Hello, dear Zia. Thank you so much for the love and support, dear. Here is yours. Hi, dear Maya. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Amy. Here is yours. Hi, dear Michelle. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Hira. Here is yours. Hi, dear Vaibhavi. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Sanya. Here is yours. Hello, dear Chahat. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Neely. Here is yours. Hi, dear Kafu. How are you? Welcome back. Have a good day. Hi, dear Rizka. Here is a good name. Hey, dear Sweta. Here is yours. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Hi, dear Ellen. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Ishan. Here is yours. Hello, dear Aksa. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Fatma. Here is yours. Hello, dear Julia. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Yogesh. Here is yours. Hello, dear Nitik. Nikik. Huh? Is your name Nitik or Nikik? What's your good name, dear? Nitik. Here is yours. Hi, dear Fairuz. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Naya. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Millie. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Azima. Here is yours. Nikhil. Okay. Hello, dear Nikhil. Here is your good name. Welcome back, dear Calf. How are you? Here is yours. Hey, dear Mary. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Tisha. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hey, dear. Okay, Vaibhavi. Here is yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. If your name got done there, then don't forget to press that subscribe button. Hi, dear Fabian. How are you? Fabian. Here is yours. Hello. Walaikum assalam. I am good. How about you? Yes, bhai. Welcome back. Hello, dear Elita. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Ananya. Here is yours. Hey, dear Nikes. Here is yours. Thank you for joining. Hi, dear Amai. Good to hear. Hi, dear Amira. Yo. Lots of love. Thank you so much for remembering me. Thank you so much. That's why I forgot the spelling. Let me check. Abhaya? Abhaya. No. Yeah, Abhaya. Abhay, I think. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this. Hi, dear Anne, and here is a good name. Thank you so much, dear MJ. Here is yours. Hello, dear. Hi, my name is Harinet. Oh, so difficult. Let me check the spelling again. No, Henry. What a beautiful name you have. What is the meaning of this? May I ask? If you don't mind, please. Here is yours. Hi, dear Saad. Here is a good good name. Hi, dear Manvi. Here is yours. Hello, dear Vilma. Here is your beautiful name. Misha. Okay, thank you so much. Hi, dear Shalini. Here is yours. Means a lot, Razbai. Thank you. Hi, dear Megan. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Nicole. Here is yours. Hi, dear Liliana. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Kirti. Here is yours. Uh, Fatula. Fatula. Oh, what a unique name you have. Here is yours. Hi, dear Diti. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Sophia. Here is yours. Guys, let's see who's going to be the 90s liker. So please keep double tapping on your screens. Hi, dear Jeffrey. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Russell. Here is yours. Oh, you're most welcome, dear. Lots of love. Hey, dear Anna. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Dylan. Here is yours. Hey, dear Camille. Here is a good name. Thank you so much. Hi, dear Tayyip. Here is yours. Hi, dear Mina. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear. Huh? Taranya. Taranya, here is yours. Hello, dear Leela. Here is your good name. Hi, dear people. Here is yours. Hello, dear. Who is saying gift? Gift for you. Hi, dear Shamika. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Ganesh. Here is a good name. Double tap on your screen, guys. Nazia. Hi, dear Nazia. How are you? Thank you so much. Hello, dear Ria. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Samira. Here is yours. Hi, dear Chloe. Here is a good name. Hey, dear Anna. Here is yours. No, I'm not. Hey, dear Emas. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Aruj. Here is yours. Hello, dear Nicole. How are you? Thank you so much, dear Ashifa. Hello, dear Ashifa. Here is your beautiful name. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to double press, double tap on your screen, and there is a subscribe button on there. Waiting for your finger press. Hi, dear Zainab. How are you? Hey, dear Emma. Here is yours. Hi, dear Pooja. Here is your good name. Thank you so much, dear. Hello, dear Sahara. Here is yours. Hi, dear Cuckoo. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Samriddhi. Samriddhi, here is yours. Hi, dear Samreen. Here is a good name. Thank you so much for joining, dear. Hi, dear Viru. Here is yours. Which angle is best? Can you tell me, guys? This one or this one? It's like zoom out and zoom in. Hi, dear Ambuja. Here is yours. Zoom in or zoom out? What do you prefer? Hi, dear out like this. Thank you so much for telling. Hi, dear Amen. Here is your good name. Someone is saying zoom in and some is saying zoom out. Hello, dear. Let's see who is next. Cup. Cupcake. Oh, yeah, here is yours. Hi, dear Pratigya. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Fiza. Here is yours. Hello, dear Patasi. Here is a good name. How are you? Didi, please write my name, Samriddhi. Samriddhi, your name was done before, but if you want a screenshot of your beautiful name, dear, here is yours again. Because you call me Didi. So, here is yours, dear sweetheart. Thank you so much for joining. And don't forget to press the subscribe button. Let's see who is next. Elmira. Hi, dear Elmira. How are you? Here is yours. Hi, dear Halima. Here is your good name. Let's see who's gonna be. Oh, 91. Thank you so much, guys. Hi, dear Arshin. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Noor. Here is yours. I subscribe you. My name is Todak. Hey, dear Todak, what a unique name you have. Where are you from, man? Hi, dear Sunera. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Aru. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Shifa. Here is yours. Hello, dear Nancy. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Hari. Here is yours. Um, I have commented regarding your channel. I will consider it. Thank you. You're most welcome, dear. Hello, dear Esme. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Hina. Here is yours. Hello, dear Elena. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Hanya. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hey, dear Elia. Here is your good name. You're most welcome. Hey, dear Oscar. Here is yours. Let's see who's gonna be the 100th liker, guys. Come on, double tap on your screens. My name is Al Kashaf. Here is yours, dear. Hi, dear CA. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Hasnan. Here is yours. Hi, Didi. Oh, let me check the spelling. Did you know Hindi? Yes. Hanji. Hi, dear Alicia. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Arfa. Here is yours. Hi, dear Flora. Here is a beautiful name. Hello, dear Kirti. Here is yours. Hi, dear Hiba. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Navdeep. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Ravikant. Okay, Ravikant. Ravikant, here is yours. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Double tap on your screens and don't forget to press that subscribe button there. Let's see who is next. Kyla. Hi, dear Kyla. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Alia. Here is yours. Hi, dear Incy. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Momina. Here is yours. Hi, dear Imran. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Akiba. Here is yours. Hi, dear Hannah. Here is your good name. Okay, let me check. Thanks. Could I do a screenshot of my name really quickly? Yeah, why not? What's a good name? Hi, dear Basos. Here is yours. जी बोलिए क्या बात करनी है आपने हिंदी में बोलो प्यारी बहना Hi dear Nasma, here is a good name. Hey dear Delphina, here is yours. Hi dear Arkin, here is a good name. Hi dear Neha, here is yours. Hi dear Gurnur, here is a beautiful name. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Fahad. Hello, dear Fahad. Here is yours. Hi, dear Flora. Here is your good name. Okay. Nasma. Okay, dear Nasma. Here is yours, and if you want a screenshot of your name, go for it now. Or you can watch my live later too. Let me drink some water. And she's taking screenshot. So just wait for a minute. Stay hydrated. Oh, thank you. Hi, dear Rafa. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Sophia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Andira. Andira. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Mahi. Here is yours. Hello, dear Emma. Here is yours. Let's see who's next, dear Buddy. Hi, dear Buddy. Here is your good name. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Let me check who is next. Thanks. You're most welcome. Batul. Hey, dear Batul. Here is yours. Hi, dear Nawali. Here is your good name. Hi, dear. Name is here. Your good name feels like rhyming song. Thank you. You liked or not? Hi, dear Samavia. You like the rhyming song or not? Hey, dear Dua. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Jamir. Here is yours. Hello, dear Elisa. Okay, Elisa wants a screenshot. So, dear, go for it. Hi, hola. Snake Gamer. Hey, dear Snake Gamer, how are you? Are you from Mexico? ¿Cómo estás? Gracias. Okay, dear, thank you. Let's try Snake Gamer for you. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Habiba. How are you? Thank you so much for joining, dear Habiba. Here is your good name. Thanks, I'm doing very well. Oh, so good to have you here. Thank you so much for your presence. Hi, dear Dua. Here is yours. Hi, dear Sagat. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Umar. Here is yours. Hello, dear Bentley. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Navdeep. Here is yours. Don't forget to press the like and subscribe button, dear Zainab. Hi, dear Zainab. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Ayat and On. Here is yours. Hi, dear Hari. Here is your good name from Nepal. Good to know. Hey, dear Rehan. Here is yours. Hello, dear Sharon. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Safina. Here is yours. Okay, dear Samriddhi. Let's write for you Samriddhi. Wants a screenshot? Go for it now. And Rayan. Hi, Rayan. How are you, dear? Oh, sure. Come on, take your screenshot. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Oh my god, thank you. Lots of love, dear. Hey, Anari, welcome. Oh, thank you so much. I am at school right now. Oh my god. Have a good day, dear. Komal. Hi, dear Komal. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Sujud. Here is yours. Hi, dear Wasif. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Oisha. Here is yours. Sumaya. Okay, dear Sumaya. Here is your beautiful name. Wants a screenshot. Hi, dear Tahrim. How are you? Let's see who is next. Hi, Rayan. How are you, dear April? Anan? I am fine doing my homework. Okay. Best of luck for this, dear. Hi, dear Rayan. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Sarah. Here is yours. Hey, dear Aneri. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear April. Here is yours. Hi, dear Iba or Iab? Iba. Hey, dear Iba. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Teherin. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Melinda. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Daylene. How are you? Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Beelan. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Incy. Here is yours. Hello, dear Kavya. Here is your beautiful name. Thank you so much. You're most welcome, dear. Hi, dear Inora. Here is yours. Hi, you're most welcome. Lots of love. Will so. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Zahra. Here is yours. Thank you so much, dear cutie pie. Glad you liked it. Guada. Hi, dear Guada. Here is yours. ¿Cómo estás? Gracias. Hi, dear Joshan. Here is your beautiful name. Hey, dear Unnati. Here is yours. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Thank you for your support, guys. Hi, dear Mox. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Anand. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Gracie. Here is yours. Hey, dear Abby. Here is a good name. Hey, dear Janella. Here is yours. Hi, dear Shamima. Here is a beautiful name. Hello, dear Delano. Here is yours. Hi, dear Manish. Here is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear Joel. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Madiha. Madiha. Here is yours. Let's see who is next, guys. Double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Hi, dear Julia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Jane. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Rimsha. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Nilo. Hi, dear Nilo. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Imran. Here is yours. Hi, dear Danny. Here is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear. I have lots of love, dear. Can I write A and E if you don't mind? E shortcut? A for Ayat and E is for E signatures. Eunice. Hi, dear Eunice. Here is your good name. Thank you so much for joining. What is your name, dear? Tarannum. What a beautiful name you have, dear Tarannum. Double N U and M. Here is yours. Hi, Sanjay ji. Welcome back. How are you? Here is yours. Hi, dear Cloudy You. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Mara. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Mohsen. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Muhammad. Here is yours. Hello, dear Adam. Here is your good name. I am not good at Urdu writing. My Urdu writing is not so good, guys. Hi, dear Janvi. Here is yours. Hey, dear Anna. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Rukaya. Here is yours. How are you? Don't forget to double tap on your screens. मेरी हर बात पे खी खी करना जरूरी है क्या? नहीं. हाय डियर विक, हियर इज़ योर। मैंने आपको अच्छे से वेलकम किया है ना, इसलिए मैंने आपको हंस के वेलकम किया है ना। हे डियर एडवर्ड, हियर इज़ ए गुड नेम। आपको पता है कल आप आए थे ना, सारी लाइट चली गई थी भाई। ये कौन है आई एम बैक वाला? ओह हाय, वेलकम बैक, व्हाट्स गुड नेम? मुझे लगा हाजिक भाई हैं। फिर क्या, फिर और क्या, फिर हमारी लाइव कट गई थी। Hi dear Reba, here is yours. Let's see who's gonna be. Oh wow, thank you. Who's gonna be the Adya? Hi dear Adya, here is yours. Hello dear Bushra, here is your good name. क्या आप guess कर सकते हो भाई? Guess करो. Hi dear Samya, here is yours. Hey dear Shanza, here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Isa. Isa, here is yours. Vanessa. Hello, dear Vanessa. Here is your good name. How are you? इलेक्ट्रिशियंस देख रहा हूँ क्या मैं? नहीं, आपके आने से लाइट गई, मैं तो ये बोल रही हूँ। हाय डियर आरुषि, मैं कहाँ से हूँ? आप गेस करो मैं कहाँ से हूँ। Hi dear Arushi, here is yours. E-signature, please. Yes dear, what's a good name? Hello dear Samavia, here is your good name. Let's see who is next. India. हाँ, ये दूसरे वाला ठीक गेस किया है। Hi dear Nihal, here is yours. क्योंकि मैंने हाँ Yes, I am from Pakistan. Hey dear Maya, here is yours. Hello dear Gabby, here is a good name. Shalom. Hey. अच्छा नहीं, हाँ मुझे इग्नोर करो ये बुढ़ी, कहीं से मैं बुढ़ी लगती हूँ? मेरे हाथ देखो इतने बूढ़े हैं क्या? शिवानी, here is yours. Hi dear Shalom, here is your good name. इन्होंने अलग मेरा नाम रखा हुआ है। चीनी भाई की इतनी बुरी बात है ना। Okay, Claudio, you want a screenshot? So here is yours. Thank you so much for joining. And let's see who is next. Vicky. Hi Vicky. Hello Iman. क्या आप बहुत प्यारी हो? पाकिस्तानी गर्ल ऐसी होती हैं क्या? हाँ, हम प्यारे होते हैं थोड़े थोड़े। सभी बहुत प्यारे होते हैं भाई। इंडियन गर्ल्स भी बहुत प्यारी होती हैं, अट्रैक्टिव होती हैं। Hi dear Eden, here is yours. अपनी तारीफ खुद ही कर लिया देखो। Hi dear Iman, here is a good name. Hello dear Trini, here is yours. Okay, let me read Mahisha and Ganesh, please. Arjan, I am going to asleep. Okay, dear Mahisha, cause it's urgent for you. Here is yours, Gangesh. How are you guys? Let's see who's gonna be the 140 liker. So please triple tapping on your screens and don't forget to अच्छी बात थी में तारीफ तो सब। हाँ ठीक है ना, ठीक है, मुझे पता है आपका। I am late, sorry, can you do Sky? Why not, dear Sky? Welcome back, how are you doing? Sky, thank you for joining, dear. Hi dear Manoj, here is yours. क्या? Manoj, here is a good name. अरे नहीं, सभी करते हैं, मुझे क्यों चाहिए आपसे? अगर आपको बुरा नहीं लगे तो प्लीज़ आप मेरी फ्रेंड बन जाओ प्लीज़, मेरी कोई पाकिस्तानी फ्रेंड नहीं। अरे मैं हूँ ना यूनिवर्सल फ्रेंड हूँ सबकी। हाय डियर केट्स, भाई आपका क्या नाम है? Here is yours. Hi dear Sylvia, here is your good name. Okay dear, in hyphen for you. Guys, let's see who's gonna be the 140 liker. Six more. We need six more. Six more. Hi, Cognate. How are you? Cognate. Here is yours. Hi, dear Adam. मैंने लिखा था पहले. Here is yours. Hi, dear Livia. Here is your good name. What happened to your Zad? Why are you so sad, man? Hey, dear Annie. Here is yours. Hi, dear Lucas. Here is your good name. Hey, if you could be renamed, what would you want to be renamed and why? Uh, I like my name, but if I could have a chance to change my name, I think it would be Hannah because it's my favorite name nowadays. Hannah. मैं डिफरेंट हूँ बेइज्जती करूँगा अच्छा ठीक है आपको पता है आज आयशा जी आई थी ओ वालेकुम अस्सलाम सनम हाउ आर यू हियर इज योर्स हाँ जो सच्चे सच्चे वाले दोस्त होते हैं ना वो बेइज्जती बहुत करते हैं मुझे पता है चीनी भाई हाय डियर एलिना हियर इज a good name hi dear Shruti here is yours do ASMR with anything on your table let me try can you guess what is it that's it hi dear Pratham here is yours shout out for you what's a good name why not hi dear Mira here is your good name we are literally stuck on 135 can we make it 140 at least guys क्या क्या बोला यही बोला मैंने अच्छे दोस्त बेइज्जती बहुत करते हैं शाउट आउट मी प्लीज एक्जनोस कहाँ है उनके पेपर हो रहे हैं वो इस वजह से अभी नहीं आ रहे हैं आई वुड बी रीनेम्ड इरिस नाइस hi dear Insha here is a good name hello dear Harshita okay dear okay Harshita here is yours hello dear Inday here is your good name how are you stay blessed and happy ओए अभी कौन से ताबूत में बैठी हो hi dear Leah here is your good name that was my water bottle sound hi dear God dear here is a good name lots of love dear hey dear Audrey here is yours we can do this too oh let me do it let me do this I literally love that sound. Hi, dear Sofa. Here is yours. Hello, dear Kazumi. Here is your good name. How are you? Do you like cats yet? Oh, Betty. Here is yours. Okay, let's see who is next. दादी मतलब एक पैर Astaghfirullah. Hi, dear Simbia. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi. Oh, you're most welcome, dear. Lots of love. Salamat. Hi, dear Salamat. Here is yours. Let's see who is next, guys. Dima. Hi, dear Dima. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Ellie. No way, my name is Hannah. Oh, wow. Is your name Hannah? Literally, I love this name. I don't know why, but yeah, I literally love this name. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Inaya. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Amrita. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Sinbad. Oh, thank you. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Rowan. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ishani. Here is your good name. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Let's see who is next. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Lots of love. Hi, dear Umar. Here is yours. Oh, thank you. Hi, dear Abid. Here is a good name. Walaikum assalam, Subkaji. Ananya, welcome. Here is yours. ठहरे मैं पढ़ती हूँ आपका कमेंट. क्या लिखा है? मैं खाना बना रही थी इसलिए नहीं आ सकी. मैं हाजिर लगाऊँ फिर ईशू जी कहेंगे कि हम याद नहीं करते. ठीक है. थैंक यू सो मच सुब्बा जी. कोई बात नहीं. Thank you so much for your precious time. Hi, dear Thomas. Here is your good name. Let's see who is next. Paige. Okay. For you, dear Paige. Here is yours. Let's see who is next, guys. Mer. Hello, dear Mer. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Praveen. Here is a good name. Manish and I don't think. Oh, I don't think. No, I don't know. What was the second name? Pallavi. Here is yours. Sometimes I don't know what I am speaking. Literally, my brain is not braining. You should do ASMR videos in the future. It literally sounds so good. Okay, noob. I am such a noob in ASMRs. Hi, dear Nasreen. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Sarvin. Here is yours. Thank you so much, dear. Lots of love. Hi, dear Kini. Here is your good name. What? Thank you so much. Why not? What is your good name? Destiny. Hi, dear Destiny. Here is yours. Hi, dear Simra. Here is your good name. Hi, good morning. Hello, morning. Dadi ki. Hey, dear Vaisal. Here is your good name. Hi, Kylie. Please do my little sister. Okay. दादी की तारीफ हो रही है मेरे कान से. अस्तगफुरुल्लाह. हाँ ना, देख लो. Hi, dear Kylie. Here is a good name. Let's see who is next. Hey, dear Ash. Here is yours. What kind of dear page? I didn't get you. What do you mean? Hi, dear Mariana. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Daniel. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Jack. Here is yours. Hello, dear Shami. Here is your good name. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Hi, dear Fatima. Here is a good name. Kylie was done now. Okay, after this. Hey, dear Kylie. Here is yours. Hi, dear Brooke. Okay, your good name is Brooke. Welcome, dear group. Thank you so much for joining here. Thank you for the love and support. Your voice is very sweet in my life ever. Oh my god. Thank you. Khatira. Hi, dear Khatira. Here is a good name. How are you? Hey, dear Arena. Here is a good name. Kylie, dear. Your name was done just now, just a second ago. Hi, dear Audrey. Here is yours. Hello, dear Greta. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Hannah. Here is yours. Hello, dear Emily. Here is a good name. Let's see who's gonna be the 150s later, guys. What are you saying? Okay, I'm not gonna read the comments now. Hey, dear Hazi. Your name was done twice at least, and I literally don't know what are you saying. Hi, dear Nalia. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Annie Mary. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Eva. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Tila. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ramsha. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Cindy. Thank you so much for subscribing. Here is yours. Hey, dear Kiara. Here is a good name. Thank you so much, dear. What is a good name? Sanya. Hi, dear Sanya. Kylie is a girl's name. Sanjay. Hi, dear Leaky. Here is yours. Hi, dear Jeff. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Amna. Here is a beautiful name. Hello, dear Santos. Here is yours. Guys, double tap on your screens. We have to complete 150. Hi, dear Amishi. Here is a good name. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hana. Hey, dear Natalie, here is yours. Hi, dear Yash. Here is a good name. Shama. Hey, dear Shama. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Hallie. Here is yours. Hi, dear Zainab. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Atif. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Aylin. Hi, dear Aylin. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Sophia. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ditya. Here is your beautiful name. अगर सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो जल्दी जल्दी करिए. Hi, Ayman. How are you? Here is your good name. Hey, yeah, you're most welcome, dear. Thank you. Hey, dear Esma. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, Mahi Khan. Welcome back. How are you? Here is yours. Hi, dear Sia. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, Jay. How are you? Jay. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Suhas. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Mealy. Here is yours. Hi, dear Laiba. Here is your good name. Liba with I. Oh my god. Liba. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button right there. Let's see who is next. Matthew. Hi, dear Matthew. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Shamila. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Apu. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Logesh. Here is yours. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Mary. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ishpreet. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Alan. Here is yours. Hi, dear Sia. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Hasdi. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ducky. Here is your good name. Hey, dear James. Here is yours. Layton. Here is yours. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button right there. Let's see who is next. Hina. Hi, dear Hina. You're most welcome. Okay, welcome back, Leo. Hi, dear Leo. Here is yours, guys. Double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Hi, dear Tawfiq. Here is yours. Hey, dear Alif. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Tanishka. Here is yours. Tanishka. Hey, dear Harry. Here is your good name. Okay, dear Shivansh. No, Shivansh? No, Shivansh. Here is yours. Hi, hi, dear Button. Here is yours. Hi, dear Mahi. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Argo. Here is yours. Hello, dear. Okay, guys, now we are going to end the stream and looking for the last name for this stream. Hi, dear Faisal. How are you? And our last name for this stream is Hi, dear Amal. Here is yours. Hello, dear Lena. It is a good name. Ronaldo. Okay. Last name for this stream is Ronaldo. Hi, Avas, Maha, Virad. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Hey, Hussein, welcome. Maga, Losi, and Shrishti. Now it's time to end the stream, guys. Don't forget to double tap on your screens in the next live for sure, guys. I am good. How about you, dear? Zokte, Mateen, Rohit, in the next live for sure. Promise. Now it's bye. Take care. Good night. Thank you so much for subscribing. Stay connected. See you tomorrow morning. Till then, take care. Love you all. Bye.